Hello there. This is Cindy at cindybdesigns.com. Thank you for joining me today. We are going to be making the boxes behind and then on the left and then the bag on the right, and we'll go over the other projects. So this is what they look like. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving, by the way. We are going to be doing the box on the left, and then I don't know what I'm doing right here. Okay, I'm doing the box. And that's an 8 by 8 by 2. And there's two different lids that you can put on it. And I'll describe to you the one that's on the red box as we're doing the one for the green box, because that is a reinforced lid. And you just simply make an extra score line all the way around. And we are going to go over absolutely everything, so there's no confusion. We'll have measurements and whatnot. That is one of the smaller boxes that I made. I think that is like a 4 by 6 or something like that. And there are some tags and everything. I've been going or using Toile Tidings all this week, and we're going to be making that little purse or that bag. Those are the cards that I got inspiration from it. Artisan design team member, and I completely botched up the colors. So I thought I would rectify it and make those tags. And there are the pizza boxes in gold. You can put cookies in there, anything like that, or just shove everything in that bag. And it does look easier than it seems. There's some busy work and a lot of annoying things to do, but I think that they make the greatest little projects. Now here is a bag that I did for fall that's completely done, so you can see how I dressed it up a little bit, just using different elements and putting some fall cards in there. So we're going to pick it up a little bit and speed it up. I will have measurements, everything over on the blog at cindybdesigns.com, so don't even worry about that. So to get started here, I brought in my scoring tool. That's a 12 by 12 piece of garden green cardstock, and I am going along all four sides, and I am going to score that at 2 inches all the way around. And then I'm bringing in my lid, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm showing you how to do this, or I'm going to describe it, but we're making the fold over one first. So what you want to do is get your 12 by 12, scooch it over from the very left, just a teeny tiny bit like you saw me do there, scored at 1, scored at 2, and go all the way around. And I'm going to struggle to cut this DSP when the time comes, because the angle I'm in at and how I have to see, and then keeping it so you can see too. Grab your bone folder, go all the way around, and score all 4 of those sides. You want to fold the cardstock back on itself, remember that. Get a pair, get your snips, okay? Now I'm going to zoom in and show you where I'm cutting. You just want to snip a little V all the way down there. And that's it. And then take a sliver off the other side. Then turn it around and do it the exact same angle from the opposite side. So when you see me lay it out like that on the left, both my cuts are going the same direction rather than the other one going the opposite direction, because that does happen. And then when you fold your box, it'll fold up kind of wonky, so you won't have like a supporting tab on one side over on the corner. But that's how little the slivers really should be. And that's how the box is going to fold up. I am going to take some tear and tape, and I'm going to pull that in and then just tear it off, which never works for me, as you can tell. And I'm going to go along all 4 sides of that box there. I was going to edit part of this out, but you know, it'd be like 10 seconds. So once I get all that down, I'm going to grab my bone folder and then just give it a nice press in there, because it helps the release paper come off easier. And then grab my pokey tool and pull all that off. And then I'm just going to go around the box all the way around. If I have anything hanging over, I'll go ahead and fold that up. And you want to, when you fold it up, it's super easy, as you can see. You want to match the sides up pretty well. You know, give it a good crease with your bone folder to get that adhesive adhering to the paper really well. And then I'm just going to do the same thing to the opposite side. I'm going to flip back to the lid real quick. If you don't want to do the reinforced lid, just score it 2 inches all the way around, and then you're going to do the top of the box, the DSP, the exact same way that I folded that up there. But now that we're making the reinforced box, I'm trying to show you where the corners, where the 1 inch line and the 2 inch line meet up, and what we have to cut away from it. I wish I would have left that pattern on top. Actually, I think I did. I'm grabbing a chalk marker to show you where my score lines are. You know, there's the 1 inch, there's the 2 inch, and then those lines are just showing the score lines outside of those little, you know, 4 squares there. And I'm going to show you a diagram on there, how to mark it up. And right now I distinctly remember trying to find a corner to get this into, because I wanted to be zoomed in. So you're going to cut the squares where I put the X's, and then that one there with the X on both sides, that's where you want to go in at and make those little V cuts there, because that is what's going to fold in under it to make that reinforced lid. And I think I leave it in here to where I just go ahead and cut all the way around. I don't know, but there's a bunch of different ways that you can do it. And like I said, I was at a weird angle, so I really didn't get into my groove and just zip through it. So there's the tab. And you're going to want to cut up one, because you want that tab 2 sides free, or 3 sides, you know, the bottom and then on both sides. And then you're going to fold it, put adhesive on it, fold it over, and we are going to get to that. But you want all 4 sides eventually looking like that. Okay, I did take it off and cut everything. So now you're seeing how that looks like and what it should look like. And I think I pull out a little bit and slow it down so you can get like a really good visual of that. There we go. You want to put the tape on those tabs. And I think I was going to say, I think I cut it with this here, but I guess I didn't. I know with that, I did, who knows. With that DSP, it's not as thick as the other ones, but it's more of a 65 weight or 75, but you can still work with it. So get your tabs down. Okay, then on the opposite side, on all 4, you want to put a big piece of tear and tape. So on the tabs, that's the side that you want up, which is in this instance the stars, and that's how I'm going to fold it together. And then for the lid, the reinforced lid part of it, you want to put up the tape on the opposite side. And you can see how I'm throwing it all together there, and I left it in, lining everything up. And the difference between this box and the other lid is the reinforced lid, 1 more score line and another fold and more tape. And so the left is the 2 inch lid, the right is the reinforced 1 inch lid. And after this, it just gets very simple to throw it together. You pull the tape off, you fold it over, give it a good crease with your bone folder, and that is how you get the reinforced lid. I mean, it's that simple. And it gives more substance and paper to it. You know, since this is a thinner DSP, but even with that 100-pound weight ones, or 90-ish, you can still do the same thing. So that is how fast it goes. And boom, we're done. I'm not going to decorate it up or anything like that today because I just wanted to get through showing you how to do this. So there is our box, and we are going to move on to our bag. There's some of the ribbon that coordinates that you could wrap this up with. So, excuse me, for the bottom of the bag or purse, I'm going to interchange it. That is a piece of 8.5 by 11 DSP. And I could have utilized my paper better, but I didn't. First thing I want to do is I want to cut two 1 by 11 inch pieces, and that's Mossy Meadow. And those are going to be the handles of my purse. And I have no idea what I'm doing there. Okay, I'm flipping it around because for the base of the purse, you want that to be 5 by 8. And I'm taking that piece of cardstock and I'm scoring it on all 4 sides. And I'm using just, the Stampin' trimmer score tool. And once that gets done, I am going to fold it up. Well, I guess I'm not. Okay, I'm slowing this way down. We need to score these handles a certain way. Those are 1 inch strips of cardstock by 11. And I'm zooming in right now because how we have to score it. It's not hard. It was just easier to show you this way. So we want to score it halfway down, and half of 1 inch, of course, is 1 inch or ½ inch. So I'm putting that down to score it at the ½ inch mark in the Stampin' trimmer. And when you put down that apparatus, it will lock, holding your cardstock in. So you have measurements on the top of that door there, that locking door, and you can see them. And I'm going to move that scoring blade over to 1.5. When I press down on it, then it will score. But if I just move it and don't press down, then it just moves to where you want it to and no damage. So I'm going to start at 1.5. I'm going to take it all the way down to 9.5 inches. And I'm just going to slide that back and forth a few times. You don't have to do it this way either. If you're more comfortable with it, and that is what's going to be those handles. But if you're more comfortable with putting that down there and then using a bone folder, you can do that too. I do that a lot to score a lot. So you want to take your bone folder and give that a nice crease right along those lines there. I do recommend that you take your detailed trio punch or corner rounder and you round the corners first before you do that scoring. It works out both ways. I just forgot to do it. But you can use your bone folder in the scoring portion with the Stampin' trimmer, and I like that. So I'm scoring that one really well. And my glue bottle's getting down to nothing. I put way too much glue down here, believe it or not, and this time, yeah, it does look like it. And I'm looking, thinking, okay, I've made a hot mess here. I'm going to have stuff oozing everywhere, which I did. Close that real good. Hold it at the ends. Yeah, I had to bring in a paper towel. Hold it at the ends and get that. And then work your way towards the middle. As it's drying, grab your bone folder, kind of shape the handle a little bit. Don't get aggressive with it like I did. And you want to do that twice. So I'm doing the same thing to the box or the bottom of the bag that we did with a gift box earlier. Just cutting those sides up. And you know what? I think I made that other box from that. Yeah, I did. I'm grabbing the tear and tape once again, and I'm going to put it on all 4 corners. And you see how they're cut? That's how you want to see everything. Your box is cut or whatnot, is that consistency there. Because when you see me fold it up, I'm going to have a reinforced edge all the way around. And that is just the bottom of our box. Now we are going to cut the designer series paper for the meat of it. 12 by 12. You want to cut one piece at 4 1/4 by 12 and the other, okay, scratch, 12 by 12, 4 1/2 by 12, and then the other piece 4 1/2 by 7. I took a piece of tear and tape, and that's 1/4 inch, and I want to put those together. That's how I do it. Some people use glue. To me, it's just easier for that. If you're getting a busy pattern or whatnot, you want to be careful with that so they match up. These are just stars. I winged it. It turned out. But I also knew how to wrap everything around so my edges are going to be in the same area. So that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm figuring out and putting some very soft folds into the DSP where I want my creases to go. We know that box is 1 inch, so I put exactly 1 inch of tear and tape on the very bottom there, and then hooked it up. And then I'm using glue to, you can use tear and tape too. I prefer glue just to give me that wiggle room a little bit. And I'm using my bone folder to get that nice and adhered. And this is where it gets a little bit time consuming, because you do want to get it set up all the way around before you move on to the next section. And it's much easier than it looks. Again, I'm at a weird angle. I'm standing to my far left with, a camera coming straight down. So I'm out of the way and you can see what I'm doing as much as possible. I use my clear blocks a lot just to set things up. And my bone folder. So we're done with that side. And we're just going to be moving it on over to the next side. Now when I get to the, I don't know what they call them, not the straps of the bag, but those bands that go around a purse and everything, I also put those together the same way, and you'll see that as well. And I come back in and cut those separately. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep wrapping this around a little bit. And I'm getting towards the end here. And I put tear and tape all along that edge there that you're going to see me do. And then I will use adhesive on the mossy meadow part of it to keep it consistent. And since I put them together very precisely in the first place at exactly 1/4 inch of that tear and tape, it all lined up, and how I wrapped it around straight. When you see me put it together, it's not going to look super bulky or anything. It kind of goes like, I'm really trying to think of those. Oh, Coach has that brand of bag. Well, they all do, but you figured I'd remember that one name. But you can see how that works out. And then when I put it together, see, I just fold it all over like that. And there's no excess. I have just the right amount on both sides. Where the cardstock meets, it's towards the back and towards the back sides. Here are those other strips that you're going to need. They are you need 2 3/4 by 7 and 2 3/4 by 12. And I'm putting those together the exact same way. My screensaver just came on, so I lost my track for a second there. What those bands are going to do, they're going to go on the inside, top inside, and top outside. And we're going to put our straps on top of that as well. The inside's a little bit more trickier to get down, just because you're kind of, well, it was for me because I was at a funky angle. And you do the exact same thing with, you want to get it really close to where that line is on the inside of your designer series paper. And then the same thing with applying the glue, getting it set up. I know that with this I had overhang, well, too much, and I snipped off with my paper snips maybe a ½ inch, but it worked out well. And you can see how I'm going around and around and around. I'm trying to get it set up and dry at the same time. And that's going to happen on the inside and the outside as well. But I know that this was a long video. A lot was covered. If you have any questions or whatnot, just leave me a comment or shoot me off an email. Don't hesitate to do that or anything like that. Now with this, I didn't glue overload it, so it worked out a lot better. But they're just the cutest things to make, and they don't take a tremendous amount of time. Once you whip a couple out, it just becomes second nature and everything. So we do have the inside done. And for the outside, again, I'm just going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to talk while you're watching me do this. You saw the cards at the very beginning. You'll have pictures over at cindybdesigns.com. Narelle gave me the inspiration for the cards and the pizza bags. I blew the colors. I could not redeem myself. I should have kept the rescreen. And that's what it boiled down to. And you will see what a disaster that turned out to be. So it's not something I'm proud of, but I fixed it halfway through with the tags. I didn't fix it with the pizza boxes or the cards, but the tags, they're normal, or how they should be. So we're starting to wrap up here a little bit. And I'm just getting the rest of the adhesive down there. I probably should have put a little bit of tear and tape on the very end there just to keep it consistent, but it stayed and it worked. But go through your embellishments to decorate up this little bag, and it holds a lot too. It can hold a good 10 cards and envelopes, a folded up women's t-shirt or whatnot. Okay, straps. I put tear and tape where I could. You want to put a little bit of glue underneath it and just like a line above it, and then put the bottom of it towards the bottom of, it's 3/4 inch, okay? So you don't want to put a ton of glue up the way because it's going to ooze out and it's going to be sticky and it's going to be messy. So I'm doing the same thing to that side, just trying to get everything lined up and held down. Try the block. No, that's not going to work. So I'm just kind of standing there. Going to flip it over. Repeat the process. And I'm looking at it you're out of screen. And I'm just eyeballing it to see where it will match up to the other side. And there we go. That is how easy it is to make that bag. And like I said, they're just the cutest little things in the world. I mean, it'd be great for a birthday bag. Very, very seasonal, that you can use for anything that you want to. Any DSP, any cardstock, mixing, matching, the whole 9 yards. So I want to thank you very much for joining me today. I hope that you like these projects. I think I'm trying to walk around the room right now, putting things together to show you some more of what I've done with this. And we'll see. No, I guess I'm just going to bring the box back in. But I hope that you had a fantastic Thanksgiving and that you join me next week. I have no clue what I'm doing. And I think next week starts tomorrow. But God bless. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you next week. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe too.